Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you might happen to be joining us today. We have another one of our um, narrative recaps. Got a little bit behind on doing these, but I've got them together a bit more now. So we're going to be starting our recaps of the Adventurers Amusement Dungeons. This will be part one of four of those. Haven't quite decided yet if I'm going to keep each of the four separate. I think there's a couple of them that are short enough that they might actually end up getting combined. We'll see as it goes. But here's the first part. Enjoy it, like, subscribe, comment below if there's anything that you want to ask about as far as my homebrew content goes, or as far as anything you want to see in the game, or want to know how it was done the way it was, why it was done the way it was, that kind of thing. Enjoy, and see you soon.
Difficult to place, yet impossible to ignore. The walls glisten with moisture, faintly illuminated by the soft, flickering light of Brimstone, Zethian's living cloak. At the bottom of the staircase, a shallow pool of brackish green water spreads across the stone floor, ankle deep and still. Saladin, ever curious, dips a finger into the liquid. A moment's hesitation, then he tastes it, a decision met with immediate regret. The bitterness lingers, acrid and foul. As they press forward, they round a corner and come upon the Sphinx. The creature does not stir as they approach. It reclines upon a raised platform, its massive, leonine frame stretched out lazily. Golden eyes flick open, regarding them with weary disinterest, as if they are nothing more than yet another group of hopeful fools, about to meet their demise. Behind it, 3 corridors stand blocked by shimmering force fields. Without a word, the Sphinx sighs, then speaks. Each path holds a prize, she explains. But before they may proceed, they must answer a riddle. Round they are, yet flat as a board. Altar of the Lupine Lords, jewel on black velvet, pearl in the sea, unchanged but e'er-changing eternally. A pause, then the answer clicks into place. The moon, the rightmost path, opens. The party moves forward, the water growing warmer with every step. Before long, the first cry of pain erupts. Saladin hisses as his boots begin to burn. The flesh beneath searing as something corrosive eats into his skin. A thin green slime clings to his feet, its acid bubbling softly. Brimstone lashes forward, flames flickering as he burns the slime away. The stench of scorched leather and flesh rises, but the corrosion is halted. Saladin stares down at his smoldering boots, then takes a running leap, vaulting over the remaining acidic pool. Zethian, assessing the danger, directs Brimstone to spread his fire, scorching away as much of the remaining slime as possible. Thick steam fills the corridor, the air growing oppressive, forcing the party to navigate blindly through the choking haze. Talek steps forward cautiously, flinching as his leg dips too far into the heated water. Zethian miscalculates and is hit full force by a scalding burst of steam. His movements slowed as the heat saps his endurance. Brimstone flares in protest, his normally fluid form momentarily disrupted by the moisture. But at last, they emerge from the steam into a dry junction, free of traps. 2 paths lay before them, north or south. They choose north. A heavy stone door creaks open, revealing a chamber lined with 5 massive flesh golems, each standing motionless. Numbers are carved into their chests: 7, 9, 11, 13. Behind them, an inscription. One does not belong. It takes only a moment of consideration before the answer is found. 9. The golems do not react. Instead, a hidden door grinds open, revealing a staircase leading upward. At its peak stands a strange wooden turnstile, a simple mechanism with a clear inscription. No golems beyond this point. It moves in only one direction. Not willing to test their luck just yet, the party retraces their steps and instead heads south. A heavy iron door awaits them, its surface adorned with the phrase, "Loyalty survives." The party steps inside as one. Immediately the door slams shut behind them. Before them hangs 9 glowing orbs, suspended by thick silver chains. They float ominously, each pulsing softly with arcane energy. A quick scan of the room reveals a keyhole embedded in the locked exit. There is no doubt. The key is here, somewhere. Saladin, unbothered by caution, licks the pink orb. The immediate burn of poison follows. He grimaces, making a mental note never to do that again, a note he will almost certainly ignore. Instead, they begin testing the orbs. The orange orb sounds hollow, promising. The green orb contains multiple items. The red orb seems to hold something ominous. The light blue orb sounds light and delicate. The black-brown orb is indistinct. With little hesitation, Saladin strikes the orange orb, shattering it. A gray ooze spills forth, lunging at him before he can react. Combat erupts. Talek and Zethian strike quickly, cutting the creature down before it can do significant damage. As the remains of the orb scatter across the floor, jewelry and a key fall among the debris. Saladin picks it up and tests it against the exit. It does not fit. They continue breaking orbs. Green reveals gold coins and an air elemental which immediately attacks. Red unleashes living shadows, their dark claws sapping Saladin's strength before they are destroyed. Light blue drops more jewelry and another incorrect key. Frustrated, they turn to the black-brown orb, catching it before it can shatter. Within it lies a ring, its surface pulsing with latent magic. As Talek reaches for it, a voice fills the room.
Stop before you put me on. I confer the following powers upon my wearer: invisibility, haste, immunity to charms, flight once per day, detect magic and one wish. I also provide the benefits of protection and spell turning. The only drawback is that once a year, I permanently eat a small part of your life. I must be warned before I can leave this room. Merely carrying me away is not possible. If ever I am removed from my wearer's finger, however, all my powers are lost. You must decide now.
Rather than accept the curse, they instead place the ring upon the golem from the previous room, commanding it to make a wish. In an instant, the golem vanishes. Finally, they uncover the true key and escape. The next chamber presents another deadly trap. A series of stone platforms, suspended by chains, dangling above a boiling lake. The chamber ahead yawns open into a vast chasm, its depths swallowed in darkness, save for the faint shifting glow of boiling water far below. The air ripples with heat, the oppressive humidity curling against their skin like unseen fingers. A network of stone platforms, each no wider than 4 feet across, dangles precariously from the ceiling by rusted iron chains, swaying gently with unseen currents of air. They are arranged in a treacherous path toward a distant platform on the far side, where a shadowed corridor promises the only escape. As the group surveys the precarious crossing, occasional bursts of steam erupt from the waters below, sending hissing plumes skyward, the droplets immediately condensing against the cold stone walls. The path forward is clear, but the means of surviving it are uncertain. Saladin grips the rough-hewn stone of the chamber wall, his gaze shifting to Zethian and Talek. We anchor ourselves, he decides. Pitons in the wall, rope for balance. Zethian nods, already pulling a length of silken rope from his pack while Talek drives the first piton into the stone with practiced precision. Each member of the group loops a safety knot around their waist, ensuring that if one of them falls, the others might prevent a plummet into the roiling abyss below. One by one, they step onto the first stone platform. The moment their weight shifts, the stone beneath them trembles, swaying gently on its chains. Saladin clenches his jaw, focusing on his footing as the platform settles into a slow, rhythmic sway. The Goliath's heavy frame makes balancing even more precarious, his every movement sending vibrations rippling through the chains above. Zethian follows, stepping lightly onto the platform behind him, his draconic eyes narrowing as he carefully measures his next move. Brimstone coils restlessly across his shoulders, the living cloak's flames dimming in protest of the sweltering heat. Talek, bringing up the rear, tests the stability of the next platform before taking his leap. As the group carefully makes their way forward, each step is a fight against gravity and momentum, the chains above creaking under the shifting weight. Then the first mishap. Zethian moves with careful precision, stepping onto the next stone. His foot lands true, but a sudden jolt from the chains above sends the platform rocking unexpectedly. His balance falters, just for an instant, but it is enough. His foot misses the next step, and he lands hard on his knee, the impact sending a sharp pain lancing up his leg. The platform swings wildly beneath him, throwing his weight dangerously toward the edge. Brimstone flashes with alarm, flaring outward to counterbalance his master's fall, but even the living cloak cannot entirely halt the momentum. Talek, seeing the stumble, lunges forward, his metallic fingers clamping down on Zethian's forearm. With a powerful yank, he pulls the Dragonborn back into balance before he can slide any further toward the abyss. Zethian exhales, steadying himself. "Appreciate it," he mutters, flexing his fingers before shaking off the moment. Talek smirks. "Let's keep you standing, yeah?" The crossing continues. The party is nearly there. Only a few platforms remain. The far side is so close that they can see the smooth stone of the exit, illuminated by faint arcane glyphs carved into the threshold. Then a deep rumbling from below. Without warning, a massive column of steam erupts directly beneath them, the force of it engulfing the entire crossing in blinding white mist. The searing air rushes over them, burning exposed skin, forcing them to shield their faces. Saladin, momentarily blinded, takes a desperate step too far, and again his footing fails. His body tilts forward, this time toward the next platform, the force of the heat sapping the strength from his limbs. Talek and Zethian react in tandem. Zethian braces, wrapping his arms around the safety rope, while Talek lunges forward, wrapping both hands around Saladin's wrist as his boots slide dangerously toward the platform's edge. For a moment, the only sound is the hiss of steam, the straining of rope, and ragged breathing. Then, with one final effort, the group pulls Saladin back to his feet. They do not stop. No hesitation. No rest. The moment the steam clears, they press forward, jumping the final gaps, driven by nothing but raw determination. Their boots slam onto solid ground. For several seconds, none of them speak. Their chests rise and fall, their skins slick with sweat and condensation, but they are alive. They have crossed the chamber. As they enter the next corridor, a voice calls out from the abyss.
"If you wish to die for Welm, step forward."
Before they can respond, 3 objects hurtle through the darkness, bouncing down the hall and vanishing into the boiling lake below. Whatever waits within the chamber is throwing golden coins from the room down the corridor at them. The party does not move forward. Instead, closing and blocking the door, sealing the danger away for the morning, they rest.